I guess Lindsay here with Storybrooke Family Farm. So yesterday was absolutely gorgeous out. Like we could not have asked for better for during the eclipse. So it was like partially sunny. There was a nice breeze. It was almost 70 degrees. Like it was just absolutely gorgeous day to spend sitting outside, staring up at the sun. So it was perfect. So nothing really too crazy happened around here. I've had several people reach out to ask me like, did the animals do anything really cool or really crazy or act weird or anything? And the answer is not really. I was kind of disappointed. Like I thought that there was going to be some like big, huge, chaotic thing. So I like mentally had braced myself. I'd given the goats extra hay that day and stuff just to try to make sure that like they weren't going to be super needy. So the big thing that happened was once it started, like once the eclipse was about a third of the way through, it started getting darker here. So then I went and I made it so that way the ducks and the geese, they could get back into the barn if they wanted to, because I wasn't really sure what would happen. The last solar eclipse that hit this area like in totality or whatever was like 45 years ago. So I mean, not really much information for you to look up on there, except for that animals might do weird things. But around here, animals do weird things all of the time. Oh boys, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyways, so one of the biggest things that happened was these two jerk faces. Well, the other one just walked over there. They ended up kind of terrorizing the male goose a little bit. So I'd heard a big squabble after I made it so the ducks and geese could go inside. And these two jerk faces, they were sort of cornering Hook, our male goose. So he couldn't really get back in with everybody else, and he was freaking out because he's really no match for two turkeys. Geese are just, they're pretty much all talk, no action. At least ours are. I don't know if anybody else has like killer geese or something, but ours are not. They're very friendly. So are the toms. So it's kind of funny when everybody's like trying to be all like big and tough and stuff, because they're just basically a bunch of teddy bears trying to act tough. So it's kind of funny. But anyways, so I saved Hook from his big danger. And then when I was in there, the goats started panicking. They thought that it was time to eat because it was starting to get dark. A bunch of the chickens, they ended up roosting early. But mostly when it first started getting dark, all the chickens thought it was time to like get their grub on real good. So everybody was like eating like it was going out of style and just like chowing down. Because if you don't know chickens, they will eat a whole bunch of food right before bed and like stuff their crop, which is basically like a kind of like a stomach type thingy up in here. I know I'm not an anatomy person, at least not with chickens. But so they stuff a bunch of food, they swallow a bunch of food, it goes in here, and then they can basically snack on that all night. So a bunch of the chickens, they were running around just like gobbling up as much food as possible and trying to quickly get to their perch place, because they thought it was either A, going to storm, or that it was starting to get nighttime. Either way, they have the same response for both. So then a couple of the turkeys, they actually did roost up in the roof of the barn. But after the eclipse was over, everybody went back to normal. Like they were like, oh, false alarm, not actually nighttime. So the biggest thing that I had to do with the goats was I ended up having to lock them all up in the barn as if it was nighttime, because as soon as it started getting pretty dark, and this was about, I would say about 10 minutes before totality happened, which we were only in like 99.5% totality here, so we didn't like have the super cool effects where we could take the glasses off. But so it was about 10 minutes before that had happened. I did have to lock up the goats because the coyotes started up really bad behind the barn. And I was like, man, I don't know with this eclipse if the coyotes are going to get like more aggressive. So far, we haven't had any issues with the coyotes. They do stay back a little bit further, but I was kind of concerned that something crazy would happen just because it was an eclipse. Especially because everybody's all like, "Ooh, it's the eclipse! Big scary things are going to happen." I was disappointed after the eclipse. I was really hoping that it'd be like that show Heroes, where everybody like that looked up at the eclipse got superpowers. Yeah, didn't get no superpowers. Kind of disappointing. None of the animals got superpowers, so also disappointed there. But who knows? Pregnant goats, though, they might have some superpower babies in there. We don't know. But anyways, so that was about the only thing that happened. Our dogs, they acted normal. We kept them inside so that way, like, they wouldn't look up at the light and blind themselves, especially since we have a special needs dog that already is like 3/4 of the way blind. I didn't want poor Lucy to have any more issues. But yeah, it wasn't, I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that there would be like some really cool, big, exciting story to tell you guys, but honestly, there wasn't. It was just like a normal day. It was kind of like when a storm cloud rolls in, how everything gets dark momentarily, and then the sun pokes out again. Yeah, that was basically it. It was a cool experience, but not anything juicy. Sorry. But so yeah. If you guys are enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.